What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone. This is a pretty cool video. Today we're going to talk about the Gibson Modern Lite Les Paul. This is a pretty cool guitar. It is a actual Gibson from Nashville, Tennessee, with some kind of, it's a different approach to a Les Paul. We'll get into that in just a second. First of all, I want to thank my Patreon supporters and my YouTube members who support all these videos. Everybody who uses the links in the description. Everybody who goes to Dylan Talks Tone and buys pickups. We'll talk about whether you want to put pickups in this guitar or not in a few minutes. I should say this is not a sponsored video, but Gibson let me borrow this. So I have, they sent this to me from the Gibson garage. Thank you. This is the first time they've ever done that. So thank you very much, Gibson, for sending me a guitar to review, which is pretty cool. It's never happened before. It's a mahogany body. It is a mahogany neck. It is a nitrocellulose finish. It has 490R and 498T pickups. So we'll get into that in just a minute. It's got a tusk nut in it. It has a regular Gibson peg head, and it actually says Gibson on it because it is a Gibson. It's got Grover tuners on it, which is pretty sweet. It's got actual Gibson hardware, so this is not like Epiphone stuff on a Gibson. This is real Gibson stuff. It does not have the little poker chip right here installed, but it comes in the case. And actually the case is really nice too. When we're talking about a list price for this guitar of $14.99, as you're aware, a lot of guitars in this price range don't come with hard shell cases anymore. And some of them are kind of when it comes to the soft shell case. Really nice though, actually. It's like a heavy vinyl. It feels really good. I actually really like the case a lot. Rosewood fretboard. 43 millimeter nut width. So this is basically like a slim 60s profile on the neck. As you can see, it's not bound. It is has a belly cut on the back, which is pretty cool. It's made to be light. So how light is it? I waited a few times to try to figure that out just to make sure, and I came up with right at 7 pounds. So think same weight as a Tele or a Strat, a Tele. Think same weight as like an American Tele. So when you're figuring Les Paul weight, that's really, really light. It's very light. So how do they get there? Well, first of all, the entire guitar is mahogany. There's no maple cap on it. So this is an entire mahogany body, but it's also, and everybody wanted to know this in the questions ahead of time, it is just shy of 1.4 inches thick at the body thickness right here. Now, that doesn't mean it's only 1.4 inches thick, because as you can see, it still does have a sculpted maple top, or sculpted mahogany top. And I say a top, it's all one. There's not a laminated top on it, but I mean the top of the guitar is still sculpted like a regular Les Paul. Where it changes from the normal Les Paul is when you're playing it, the profile against your body is a little different. Now I have an SG up there. SGs are flat, more or less. Very, very flat. They don't have a lot of neck angle to them. So this guitar is thin like an SG, but it doesn't feel like an SG because it has still that same 4-degree neck angle because of the arched top on it, the carved top. So you still get that Les Paul feeling, but everything's kind of closer to you. One of the things I also noticed too is that it makes the neck joint a lot smaller. a lot less chunky in your hand and a lot more accessible because the thickness of the body right here is not as thick, making it more accessible to play. So it's a completely different kind of feeling than a normal Les Paul because it's thinner and it changes the it changes the guitar in relation to your body. And like I said, it's not like an SG. That was a question that I got on Facebook and on Instagram was, is it just an SG now? No, because the angles are all different and it still feels like a Les Paul, just a lot thinner. Getting to the finish on the guitar, it's a very thin with no grain fill. So let's get to a little misconception here. A lot of people think that, or a lot of people have thought in the past, anyway, let's just say that because a finish is smooth, that makes it thick. But that's not actually how it works. When they finish mahogany, especially, you have to put a grain filler on the guitar first that fills in all these little fissures in the grain, and then when you spray the guitar, then the guitar is smooth. If you don't put that grain filler in, then the paint, the finish, will actually kind of go into the grains, and it will show the wood grains through the finish. So it's not that the finish is any thinner on this guitar; it's just that they've not grain filled it. One area that is interesting to me, I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not going to say you might like it more than me. It just depends on what you like and how a guitar feels. You can feel the grain on the back of the neck. It's fine. It feels good. It's not shiny. It's not sticky. It's kind of got a satin feel to it. So it's still pretty fast and easy and fun to play. But you can feel the grain on the back of the neck. So it's got almost like a textured feel to it. So you may or may not like that. So by now you've heard how it sounds in a couple of different situations. We played it clean, and we played it with a Wampler Moxie overdrive, and then we played it with a higher gain channel from my Blackstar St. James. The pickups and electronics are very good. They're very classic, right? The 490 and the 498 are a very common pickup set for a Gibson guitar in this price range. Would you want to change this? Would you want to do something with this? It just depends on you. If you noticed when we went to the bridge, even on the clean side, it got dirty right away. 498Ts are Alnico 5s, and they're like 14K. They're very, very, very hot. So if you really want clean on your bridge, chances are one of our DAFs would do better than what's in here. If you like that kind of raunchy, gnarly kind of sound, then leave that thing alone. If you want, and then the pickup here is an Alnico 2 8K, and it's really nice. It's not muddy at all. It does kind of fall apart a little bit the more you put gain on it. So, something like our center punch or our, something like that, if you really want to play a lot of gain on the neck pickup, But man, the guitar sounds great. It feels great. It is great. The quality control on the guitar is great. There's no sharp frets. I just took it out of the case. I got it like this. I just took it out of the case and started playing it. I tuned it up and started playing it. No issues whatsoever at all. And I didn't have to set intonation. I didn't have to set anything. It's fine. It's a fantastic instrument. And for $1,500, it gets you into Les Paul land. Here's the thing. If you're a Les Paul guy or an SG guy or somebody who already has some other guitars, this is an interesting one because this could be an addition to the collection even if you already have a more expensive Les Paul, because this will make you play guitar differently. The way you hold the guitar, the way the way you interact with it, it will make you play guitar differently. It's very, very cool. It's light. If you're an SG guy but don't want to get a Les Paul, this is the one to get, because while it's not like an SG, it's more like an SG than a Les Paul. You might dig it. You might very much dig this guitar. As far as, here's the other thing. If you've always wanted an SG, but you're one of those folks that gets hung up about neck dive, which I think is made up, but if you feel like that it's a real thing, get one of these, because there's no neck dive, because it has the Les Paul balance, right? So yeah, I think it's a really cool guitar. It's super fun. It sucks because I have to give it back. I'm sending it back tomorrow, so it sort of sucks. But it's super cool. They come in a bunch of cool colors. I think you'll dig this thing. Anyway, if you want to know anything else about it, get in the comments, and maybe we'll talk about it on this week's podcast as well on Tuesday on our Just Gonna Say It podcast. If you have any questions, show up for that, or our Q&A live stream on Thursdays. We'll chat about it then too if you have questions about it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We are inching up to 100,000 subscribers, and that is very cool. I would love to have your help with that. 60% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed, so thank you so much for those that do, and also for the rest of you that just watch these videos once in a while. I appreciate all of you. Do me a favor and check out those links below and all that kind of stuff. And again, thanks to Gibson for letting me borrow this thing. We will see you in the next video.